Bronson Reed just ended Bron Breakker's Royal Rumble and I am absolutely furious right now. WWE has officially cancelled all Royal Rumble plans for Bron Breakker following the most vicious and career-threatening attack we've seen in years, and the wrestling world is in complete meltdown. The Australian monster didn't just attack Breakker, he systematically destroyed him, obliterated WWE's plans for one of their biggest rising stars at the most important event of the year, and potentially derailed what was supposed to be Breakker's breakthrough moment on the road to WrestleMania. If you're not absolutely enraged about what Bronson Reed has done to derail one of the most anticipated Royal Rumble storylines, then you don't understand what we just lost. Let me break down exactly what happened and why this is so catastrophic for WWE's Royal Rumble plans. Bron Breakker was being positioned as one of the favorites to win the 2026 Royal Rumble match. According to multiple backstage sources, WWE Creative had massive plans for Breakker at the Rumble. He was going to be one of the final 4 competitors, potentially even win the entire match, and earn his WrestleMania moment challenging for a world championship. This was supposed to be Breakker's defining moment, the night he ascended from rising star to bona fide main eventer. And Bronson Reed just threw all of that in the garbage with one brutal attack. The attack itself was sickening in its brutality and calculated in its execution. Last Monday on Raw, Bronson Reed ambushed Bron Breakker in the parking lot as the former World Heavyweight Champion was arriving at the arena. This wasn't a spontaneous brawl. Reed was waiting, stalking Breakker like a predator. The moment Breakker stepped out of his car, Reed struck with a devastating clothesline that sent Breakker crashing onto the concrete. The sound of Breakker's body hitting the pavement echoed through my TV speakers and made me wince. But that was just the beginning of Bronson Reed's assault. The 330-pound monster proceeded to deliver 5 consecutive tsunami splashes on the concrete floor. 5, each one more devastating than the last. Breakker's body was bouncing off the pavement like a ragdoll, his ribs taking the full impact of Reed's massive frame again and again and again. Security and road agents came rushing to stop Reed, but he fought them all off, determined to inflict maximum damage. By the time they finally pulled Reed away, Bron Breakker was unconscious, bleeding from the mouth, and clearly suffering from serious injuries. The immediate aftermath was chaos. EMTs rushed to the scene and immediately called for a stretcher and ambulance. Breakker was loaded onto the stretcher still unconscious, with medical personnel frantically checking his vitals. The most haunting image from that night was seeing Breakker's hand hanging lifelessly off the side of the stretcher as he was wheeled away. WWE cameras captured everything, and you could see the genuine concern on everyone's faces. This wasn't just selling for the cameras, this was real worry about a fellow performer's well-being. WWE released a statement the following day that absolutely devastated fans and confirmed our worst fears. According to the official announcement, Bron Breakker suffered 3 broken ribs, a bruised lung, and a severe concussion from Bronson Reed's attack. The recovery timeline, 6 to 8 weeks minimum. That means Breakker will not be cleared to compete at the Royal Rumble on January 25th. All plans for his Rumble appearance have been cancelled. His road to WrestleMania has been destroyed before it even began. Let me tell you why this is absolutely infuriating from every possible angle. First, think about what WWE and the fans are losing at the Royal Rumble. Bron Breakker was going to be one of the most exciting entrants in the match. His power, his intensity, his ability to eliminate multiple competitors and look like an absolute monster in the process, all of that is gone now. The Royal Rumble match just lost one of its biggest potential moments and star-making performances. Second, think about the storylines that are now dead because of this attack. WWE was reportedly planning a Royal Rumble showdown between Breakker and several top stars. There were plans for him to have a confrontation with CM Punk in the match, potentially setting up a championship rematch down the line. There was supposed to be a moment where Breakker and Bronson Reed faced off in the Rumble, giving us that epic big man confrontation. All of those plans are now scrapped, and WWE Creative is scrambling to figure out alternatives. Third, and this is what makes me most angry, think about what this does to Bron Breakker's momentum and career trajectory. This is a 26-year-old performer who should be on an upward trajectory, who should be having the biggest moments of his career, who should be headlining WrestleMania within the next few years. Instead, He's sitting at home with broken ribs, watching the Royal Rumble from his couch, while other wrestlers take the spots that were meant for him. The timing of this injury couldn't be worse for Breaker's career. Now let's talk about Bronson Reed's motivation for this attack, because understanding why makes this even more infuriating. According to backstage reports, Reed has been seething with jealousy over Breaker's push and Royal Rumble positioning. Reed believes that he should be the one getting the monster push, that he should be winning the Royal Rumble, that he deserves the WrestleMania opportunity. So instead of proving himself in the ring, instead of earning that spot, Reed decided to just eliminate the competition by injuring Breaker before the Rumble even happens. That calculated maliciousness is what makes this so much worse than just a storyline attack. Bronson Reed didn't just attack Bron Breakker in the heat of the moment, he planned this assault specifically to take Breakker out of the Royal Rumble. Reed knew that injuring Breakker badly enough would force WWE to cancel his Rumble plans. This was premeditated career sabotage, and Reed accomplished his mission perfectly. Breakker is out, and now Reed has a clearer path to Royal Rumble glory. The WWE locker room reaction has been absolutely explosive. Multiple superstars have spoken out on social media demanding that Bronson Reed face severe consequences for this attack. Some have called for his immediate suspension or firing. Others are demanding that Reed be banned from the Royal Rumble as punishment. There's even talk of superstars refusing to compete if Reed is allowed in the Rumble match after what he did to Breakker. The unity among the roster on this issue shows just how beyond the pale this attack was. Adam Pearce has been put in an impossible position by this situation. The Raw general manager has to figure out what to do about Bronson Reed while also dealing with the massive hole in the Royal Rumble plans. Does Pearce suspend Reed and potentially lose another big name from the Rumble? Does he allow Reed to compete but add stipulations? Does he strip Reed of his Rumble spot entirely? Every option has major drawbacks, and fans are going to be furious no matter what decision Pearce makes. Here's what absolutely kills me about WWE's Royal Rumble booking now: they have to completely rebuild their plans with only weeks to go. All the storylines that were being constructed around Breakker's Rumble performance have to be scrapped or reassigned to other wrestlers. The carefully planned sequence of eliminations and confrontations has to be rewritten. The potential Rumble winner conversation has completely changed now that one of the favorites is out. This is a booking nightmare that's entirely Bronson Reed's fault. The financial implications of this are massive too. Bron Breakker was going to be heavily featured in Royal Rumble promotional materials. His image was supposed to be all over commercials, posters, and social media marketing. WWE had merchandise ready to go featuring Breakker in Royal Rumble gear. Now all of that has to be pulled or reworked, costing WWE potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars in wasted promotional materials and lost merchandise sales. Let's talk about what this means for the actual Royal Rumble match itself. With Breakker out, WWE now has a spot to fill among the 30 entrants. Who replaces him? Did they bring in a surprise return to fill that spot? Did they elevate someone from NXT who wasn't originally planned for the match? Did they give the spot to someone from SmackDown to balance the brand representation? Every option changes the dynamics of the entire match. The psychology of the Royal Rumble is also dramatically altered without Breakker. He was supposed to be one of the monster characters who racks up multiple eliminations and looks dominant. Without him, the match loses some of its power dynamic. Other big men in the match, Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, Omos if he's involved, now don't have that natural rivalry and confrontation with Breakker that would have created can't-miss moments. Here's my controversial take that might get me destroyed in the comments. I think WWE should pull Bronson Reed from the Royal Rumble as punishment and as storyline justice. Make Reed sit at home and watch the Royal Rumble just like Breakker has too. Let Reed see someone else win the Rumble and earn that WrestleMania spot that he wanted so badly. It's poetic justice and it shows consequences for actions. Plus, it creates a massive storyline where Reed returns after the Rumble even more angry and dangerous. But here's the alternative scenario that WWE might go with. They keep Bronson Reed in the Royal Rumble but make him a marked man. Every single entrant targets Reed the moment he enters. Have the entire locker room unite to eliminate Reed early as revenge for what he did to Breakker. Make Reed's Rumble appearance a nightmare where he gets his comeuppance in front of the world. That would be satisfying while still keeping Reed on the card. The question everyone's asking is, what happens when Bron Breakker returns after missing the Royal Rumble? The obvious answer is that he goes straight after Bronson Reed in what could be one of the most personal and brutal feuds of 2026. These two are going to have matches that are going to be wars. No disqualification, street fight, maybe even some kind of stipulation match at WrestleMania where Breakker gets his revenge. The silver lining of this injury is that when Breakker returns, he's going to have the hottest revenge storyline in WWE. But there's a darker possibility that terrifies me. What if Bron Breakker is never the same after this attack? Broken ribs and concussions are serious injuries that can have long-term effects. What if Breakker comes back more cautious, more protective of his body, and loses that fearless intensity that made him special? What if the psychological impact of missing the Royal Rumble and seeing his WrestleMania dreams crushed affects his confidence? Reed might have done permanent damage that goes beyond just the physical injuries. The fans are absolutely livid about this situation. Social media has been flooded with angry posts about Bronson Reed robbing us of seeing Bron Breakker at the Royal Rumble. Online petitions are circulating demanding Reed be removed from the Rumble. Fan forums are filled with fantasy booking about how WWE should handle this situation. The engagement and passion around this story shows that fans were genuinely invested in seeing Breakker at the Rumble, and Reed has become one of the most hated heels in WWE for taking that away. I want to hear your thoughts on this devastating situation. Drop your comments below and tell me what WWE should do about Bronson Reed after he destroyed Bron Breakker's Royal Rumble plans. Smash that like button if you're furious that we won't see Breakker at the Rumble. Subscribe to WrestleSphere with notifications on because we're covering every development in this story. Should Reed be pulled from the Rumble as punishment? Who should replace Breakker in the match? Will Breakker ever get his WrestleMania moment? What should happen when Breakker returns? And most importantly, can WWE's Royal Rumble plans recover from losing one of their biggest stars? Let me know everything you're thinking because Bronson Reed just single-handedly ruined what could have been Bron Breakker's breakout moment, and the Royal Rumble will never be the same.